Okay, I have maybe 30 minutes before I have to leave my house. And last night I was doing an underpainting on this beautiful Fluid 100 watercolor paper, cold press, 12 by 12. So it's pretty big. I mean, for me, I guess it is. And I'm thinking I have to keep lids on my water jars because my cats will drink the water. So here, oh, that's all the way zoomed out. See, there's my water jars. But I think it's better to keep this a little more zoomed in. I don't think you need to see me. Oh, you know what? I can move this because I'm not using those right now. I always keep 3 water jars. It might be a little excessive, but I like to have super clean water always available. And then sometimes I like to have my dirty water because it can be actually nice to use actually as paint. What kind of brush do I want? You know what? I'm gonna use this black velvet, silver black velvet round. I think it's a round. Doesn't really say, but pretty sure it's a round. But they're very pointy. And it's a size 12. Because I'm using 12 by 12 paper, I'm gonna use a size 12 brush. I guess that makes sense. And I don't really have a plan other than, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? This I painted the other day in my sketchbook, this one. Also really like that. Love that. Anyway, I painted this and I'm thinking, I often like it better when I do my flowers with a vase. For some reason, to me, it gives me more like structure or something. So I'm considering trying that with this painting. But mostly I just want to play and not be too serious about it. So I'm looking at that painting that I just did the other day and I'm like, I'm just liking it. And so maybe I'll try to do something like that. I don't know if this brush is gonna work for what I'm trying to do here, but oh wow. I don't know if that's a good color choice there, but let's see. I always keep my little notebook handy to see, oh, actually this brush is gonna be perfect. Oh yeah. So I'm just kind of seeing what that color looks like. I mixed a lavender, I don't know if it's actually lavender, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Lavender and dusk pink. The dusk pink is a Van Gogh color, and the lavender I have is Holbein, and sometime I'm holding my brush at the end, I want it to be loose. Sometime I might try the Daniel Smith lavender whenever I run out of oh wow, this brush is really nice for this. I want to say this 12 is the biggest one I have of the black velvet, but I could see myself getting a bigger one now because this is nice. I like that. Okay, so now I am gonna grab a smaller brush just to dip some color in. I want this to be like really saturated color. So I don't want to put it on the big brush because then I'm just gonna waste paint. Because if I try to fill this whole brush with really saturated color, then I just have to, when I clean it off, I'll just lose so much paint. So if you use a smaller brush in cases like that, you can kind of save some paint a little bit. There's no really, like, no plan here. I'm just playing. I really like that. Oh, you know what else I should do? Some splatters. I wonder if I do have a bigger brush. All right, let's look and see. Okay, there's no, I don't. I just have this, the 12 is my biggest one. But I actually have, well, I'm not gonna, I was gonna say, okay, I'll show you. I have the oval in a 1/2 inch. So that's, it's flatter. It's not longer, but it's definitely flatter. So that could actually work for this type of painting also. Ooh, brush hair just fell out. It's not going anywhere. Okay. Now I'm gonna play with like an orange. Just grabbing a bunch of, just dipping into a bunch of oranges just to see what happens. I'm gonna start out with a darker, oh boy, that's really dark. That's okay though, because it's going to, I actually want some yellow here. I'm getting all of my paints dirty, but that's all right. That little hair does not want to go anywhere. Come on. I'm making a mess. That is, maybe if I blow it off. There we go. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stick with these colors for a sec and like put in a flower somewhere that's just like half of a flower. Okay. Now my cat's up here. I don't really know what that is, but Oliver, why? Why do you have to do, why do you do this? Huh? There, see? He is like, he does not really like to snuggle and be lovey except for when I'm sitting at my art table or sitting at my puzzle table. Oh my gosh, you're so cute, Oliver. All right. One of the things I love, I gotta watch the time. One of the things I love about wow. Oh, yeah. The other painting is that blue, the blue flower. That blue flower is like, it's so striking. So I'm grabbing kind of a purpley, what is in my paint? There's like something in my paint. What in the world? Okay, I think it's just paint. By the way, the underpainting, all I do is I wet the whole page just lightly, not like puddles or anything, and then I just drop some color in, and I really have found that I love doing that because it really adds a dimension to your painting, that when you just go in on a white page, it's fine, but for me, I have just found like, I just love that look of having, oh my gosh, my paintbrush is way too wet. I just like the look of that underpainting at the end when it just kind of shines through. Okay, here, I actually ended up dipping into the dirty water and like using that. And it's sort of like those petals are just sort of like really transparent and it's kind of disappearing. And I think I like that. I also like, if you can see the little drops that are flying off my brush when I like make my brush strokes here, and this is bleeding. I love that. That's awesome. So I start out with a very much more concentrated paint on my brush, and then as I go, I just dip really quick. Like I really dip it just super fast and then get the excess water off so that I still have paint in my brush, but it's much more diluted. So then you get those values, those different values in the painting. I really like this dirty water look. I'm gonna go over here and just do like a really transparent one over here. Oh my gosh, so cool. Okay, I'm splashing on my page just to keep it loose. And if you do that and you don't like it, you can just go clean it up. Just dab the water off your brush and just pick those up if you don't like them. If you're using decent paper, the paper can handle that for sure. Oh my gosh, so pretty. Wow. This is like, I'm telling you, for the past, wow, for a long time, I've been feeling very tight about my art. I haven't been painting mostly because my kids were off for summer break, and it's kind of hard to like jump back into it because if you're not in a routine with painting, it's just hard to get back into it. And I've been getting back into it, and it feels good. And like, I'm just randomly painting, right? I don't have a plan. I'm looking at my other painting, but I'm not, you know, trying to recreate it exactly. I want to be free. I want to just enjoy myself, you know? And I'm already just like in love with this. Oh yes, okay. Let me grab the smaller, wait, where is that brush that I was using before? I don't know which one I was using, but we'll get this out of here. Now I'm gonna go do that thing again where I grab like concentrated paint and dip it in. Let's put some dark, oh yes. Yes, yes, yes. Some dark. I grabbed like a totally different purple, like a more cooler purple. And it just, it's great. It's really great. Okay. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe. This is just so fun, right? Alrighty. You know, I really, I want a big brush. This is a size 18 Princeton Neptune Round brush. Round brushes for me are my go-to. I know a lot of artists that like do some cool work with stroke brushes or flat brushes like this with leaves and stuff, but that just doesn't really work for me very much. So now I'm just using my dirty water yeah, I'm gonna just kind of play with the dirty water. It's actually not even really dirty enough. It's barely visible, but I'm thinking, yeah, it's not visible enough. So I need to grab something, some color. I don't want a lot of color to start. So again, look where I'm holding the brush, way at the end, loosey-goosey. Oh, I actually like that purple is kind of cool. That purple leaf. I'm not trying to make perfect, I'm trying to make imperfect leaf shapes here. And sometimes they are a little too perfect. So, but really I want them to be like loose. Sometimes even just like a mark that isn't supposed to be a leaf. Oh, and the other thing, so like this leaf, see how it's got kind of defined edges? I'm just taking a wet brush that's dabbed, the water is dabbed off, and I'm just going up to the edge, and that is actually not coming. Sometimes you can sort of erase, for some reason, I don't know, that paint is staining, but like it's not really, some paper and some paint, you can just easily go into that wet edge and erase it, but for some reason, I don't know if it's this paper, the paper just really absorbed that color, so the edge is still there. But so maybe that wasn't a great example of that, but just making some random marks. And I actually didn't mean to make purple leaves. I don't know how that happened, but I am going to go in with some green and see what happens there. I'm just grabbing paint that's on my palette and mixing. I don't care exactly what color it is. Oh yeah, that's really cool. Oh. Love that. Painting loosely is something that I've had to work very hard to figure out. It's not easy at all. It looks easy once you kind of crack the code on it, but wow, does it take some practice, because I think our instinct is to be so tight with things, and it's hard to break free from that, I think. And I don't know exactly the answer, the formula. I think it's just a lot of time and a lot of like letting go of your own BS in your head about, you know, things being perfect and wanting a good outcome. It's really hard. So just, you know, be patient with yourself if you're struggling with that. I mean, I still struggle with it, and I feel like I have figured out kind of how to paint loosely, but it's still just, it challenges me. (8:30). Okay, I have a little more time to work on this, and then it will be fun to come back when it's dry. I want to put a little more color into these leaves. This paint set is the Mission, I don't know how to pronounce it, Mission Mijello set, like the basic set, not the, I think they have a professional set, or gold. I think it's gold. It's called gold. I don't have those, but I think this is a great starter set for anyone. I actually ended up getting it used. See, that's really bright. That's really, really bright. Let's grab some of this purple and mix it into the green. I think purple and green, oh wow, that turned into like an olive. That's really nice. See, that's a lot better. I lost my train of thought, sorry about that. I'm trying to dirty up this green even more. I don't really like green. The only green that I really love is, well, I love teal, so there's that. But as far as greens go, like straight up green is kind of a no for me. I just don't like it. And but I love olive green, green gold. I want it to be a little dirty, you know? Okay, let me see if I can do, so like this has kind of sharp lines, right? So I just want to blend it in. So I'm just going in with that wet brush. Yeah, I think this paper is actually very staining. Sometimes cotton papers can be like that. It's actually hard to lift edges with cotton paper, but so the thing I am going to do is come back in after this is dry and play a little with crayons, colored pencils, just to give it a little more extra stuff going on. I am always splashing my water everywhere, making a big mess. I like this. You know what it needs before I go? I'm actually headed to the gym. I'm gonna do Zumba today. I am really sore from workouts I did Monday and Tuesday, and then yesterday I did not work out, but I am still really sore. So a little dancing is just what I need. All right, I'm gonna do one of my bees, which if you watch my previous video that I haven't posted yet, these are my little loosey-goosey bees. I love adding these to my flowers, my florals. Let's put them right here. Again, holding the brush at the very end. I'm never, ever going to hold a paintbrush like this. I think when I first started painting, I did that, and that's the one, if there's one thing that I've done to make myself learn how to paint loose, it's, you know what, that's a size 4. I'm gonna get a smaller brush so I can get a thinner line. Anyway, holding the paintbrush at the end in a loose way, like, what if you hold it like that? Oh, I'm gonna try it like that, because usually I hold it like this. I have a little more control. So let's try holding it like this. I don't know how to get really much looser than that. My hand is shaking. Oh. Okay. Let's give him a little stinger. Some legs. And even let go. Do like just the 3 fingers. Well, that probably wasn't recommended that little line. Oh yeah, super wonky. Now I'm doing like the veins in the wings and it's just all over the place. Crazy, crazy. Okay. I don't know what that line is, but it's there. So maybe I'll just like do his little stinger again. Make it a little more. Yeah, okay. That was definitely a loose bee. I don't know if you can appreciate the underpainting, you know? Like for example, that yellow that's peeking out from behind that purple flower, like that was just in my underpainting. I didn't plan that, that just happened. And then there's these interesting marks over here from the underpainting, and it just adds extra interest to a painting. And so I'm gonna take this paper off of the block. It's only glued on two sides. And if you can use, actually that's dirty. I don't wanna get my, I'm just gonna use palette knife. The thing I had is actually for paper, like getting paper off of blocks, but it's dirty. I don't know why, but I don't want paint to rub off on my fancy watercolor paper. It's like acrylic paint, so. I mean, it probably would be fine, but anyway. Let's put this away. I do have my edges taped. Sometimes I don't really have a plan for the painting, but like in this painting, it probably wouldn't matter. It probably won't be that obvious that I had done that when I take the tape off, but anyway, I do it because you just never know, and I do like having that edge sometimes, depending on what I'm doing. And obviously I did not paint a vase, but that's okay. I'm just thinking about more leaves with my dirty greens. Yeah, this paper is not lifting paint very well. I'm not too pleased by that, but I love this paper nonetheless. I do, but it's not lifting out very well. You can't have it all, you know, like there's just, I don't know that there is a perfect paper. You're going to have to give or take on some facet with whatever paper you choose or whatever paper you have. I am not tied to one particular paper. I use a lot of different papers, and probably my favorite is this paper. It's at Michael's. It's the Artist Loft professional level watercolor paper, and if I had to choose a favorite to only paint on one type of paper for the rest of my painting life, that would probably be it. Okay, but I'm also a huge fan of this Fluid 100. It's really great paper. All right. I think it's time for me to go to the gym and come back to this in about 2 hours. So I'll be back in 2 seconds for you and 2 hours for me. I am back from my class and oh, so this is what I do. I have this palette. It's the Mission palette, like I was saying, and I have my sort of little secondary palette that I took the lid off of, but it fits right in here. And I have some other special colors in this palette, and I just have a backing from an old watercolor block, just piece of cardboard, and I just put it on top like a lid so that my paints do not get dusty. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and it is dusty here, because then I don't have to like take this out every time and close it up, and it's just more actually compact. So FYI, that's what I'm doing there. Woo! Wow. Okay. Coming back, I am really loving some of the colors popping out of this, and I gotta get back in painting mode. I feel like this one is like all the same value. That's what I'm noticing first. So I want to maybe add some petals that are lighter. You might be able to see if I move this. Sometimes I just grab some paint and then I'll just, like I said, this is my scrap workbook, sketchbook type thing. Okay, so that is nice. I like that. I'm just gonna like randomly put some of that color around. I've got, my water is nice and dirty now. Let's see if I can move you a little bit and you can see what I'm doing. And the other thing I want to do is actually, look, I don't know why, but lately I'm struggling with like where to put my stuff because I haven't been painting, so I'm out of the groove, but I'm gonna move my water and put this here and see if I like that better. Okay. All right, I wanna get some dark values. So I'm going straight into my wells of paint. I'm not mixing this on the palette. I wanna get it really, really saturated so I can pop some darks, darks in here. Okay, maybe I'll do a little here too. One thing about painting loose is like, you don't want it to look careless, right? See, I don't like that over there. I don't know what I am doing right now. Maybe, sorry. I have no excuse for myself. I feel like I'm trying to get everything in the camera shot and it's just difficult, but anyway, I'm gonna let some of that paint go and come back and do a couple more, maybe a little bit more. Petals around here. Oh, I like this. I actually really like this. I am happy about this painting. So I'm gonna let that be what it is and sort of move on. Look, the thing is, the other like couple months ago, I put away a bunch of my paintbrushes in this container, and I have my little rolly paintbrush holder, and I was trying to be more minimalist about the paintbrushes, but it's not working out. I need all the paintbrushes all the time. Mostly I use the Princeton Neptune brushes, but there's always something that I need a different brush for, so I might as well just have all the brushes out all the time and just be crazy like that. So the next thing I am going to do, and ideally I would wait until this is totally dry, but I think I can make this work because really I didn't do that much just now. I just added that, so I just have to stay away from that wet area. And now I have to make the decision. So I want to make some marks. I want to use neocolors or colored pencils and go in. My neocolors are already out, so I think I will grab those. Have my little tray here. And we're going to spice this up a little bit. Oh, here's a nice green. This is all, oh, it's olive. I'm always reaching for the olives. So I'm loosely making some marks, like kind of where my leaves are. And where they aren't. I don't want it to make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want it to be like, there's no sense to it. And that is hard to do, actually. Because your brain, I think, wants to be like, this is a leaf, let me outline it. But no, I want to just add to it. I want to do scribbles and crazy and not be tight about it. Yeah. Same when I go in here with the flowers, like some of my lines might kind of match up with the petals that are there, and then others will be sort of off on their own. Some marks are going to be like little triangles like the petals, and other marks are like just random dots and things. Some are small, some are big. I think you kind of get my idea here with making these marks. Maybe some will be over with the wrong color flower. Got paintbrushes rolling everywhere. It's kind of silly that I taped my edges, but so I'm getting this orange like in other places in the painting. Again, holding it loose now. This is a little half piece of a neocolor, so I'm still holding it at the end in my little loose way and trying to maintain that looseness as I'm using the crayon. There's a nice, this is, the color name is not on there anymore, but I think it's Sahara Yellow. It's like just a really nice, like a pastel yellow, I think. That's what I'm trying to say. One thing I really like about this painting is I have kept this white space over here and kind of through here. It's very tempting to just fill the whole page, and sometimes I do that, but it's also nice to leave a little breathing room, and then you can actually have a little more of a composition in your painting. I'm twisting as I'm making marks. Boom. This Dusk Pink by Van Gogh is probably my favorite, all-time favorite watercolor. And it's a little hard to match that color when it comes to pencils and crayons, but this Lilac Neocolor too is pretty good. Pretty close to it. You know, this is funny. I have the Neocolor 1 and the 2, and I swear they're different. Let's see. That's the two. Once they're down on the paper, the one is a little darker. This is a very minuscule difference, but I feel like they look, the Neocolor one looks a lot darker on just the wax itself. Whatever. I also have violet. Oh, violet. That's just like, actually, that's kind of nice. I think I'll use that one. It does not matter. I'm just getting nerdy about art supplies, I guess. I'm trying not to do like the same mark every time. Maybe some of them are like half petals and others I actually do the whole like triangle. Okay. Okay, on my other painting, I'm noticing I did some really dark splatter, and I really like how that looks, because a lot of times I'll do gold splatter, but for some reason, I'm really liking the way it looks with the dark. Let me show you. I just really like how that looks. So that's, oopsie. That was a little... And with my splatter, I'm not doing it over the whole painting. It's like what I did was I just kind of like went through the center, I guess, a little. And I feel like that just also makes it more interesting because it's not all over the place. So like this painting, I actually think it's a decent composition. Sometimes I'm thinking about composition and other times I am... Wait, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna also add some gold splatter, some champagne gold. Anyway, sometimes, you know, I might think more about the composition before I paint and then have more of a plan going in. Other times I'm not, but it's not like such a big deal. It's really like for this, I was just trying to like loosen up and have some fun, and I'm gonna just put the gold splatters basically over the orange flowers. I guess my point is, I don't want to always be fussy about composition and everything being perfect and all of that. Like sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't, but is that really the point? The point is not to be perfect. The point is to learn and to figure things out. Like, for example, in my last video, I painted this. That was the first painting I did in a couple months, really, and I think it's okay. It's not bad, but I'm not in love with it, okay? It's not like the best thing I've ever done. But it got me started, and I went into that painting in the same way. I was like, whatever, I'm just painting. Like, this does not need to be so perfect. And then I painted that other one in my sketchbook, which I actually ended up liking more. And now I painted this one, which I think I like quite a lot. And if this is, I mean, I might continue with painting these types of flowers, this type of design, and just change it up a little bit each time. Honestly, I should be taking this tape off with my heat gun, but I just don't want to like have that. Oh boy, it's ripping the page. I'll be right back. Much better to use the heat gun. And I think this is done. I think I am very happy with this. So let's see what I do next. Thanks for watching.